Good morning, I'm Alex Savini.
I'm Lee Velasquez.
And this is Double AJ News. In today's story, we will be covering NAWSA and their fight for women's rights. In recent times, many women have become suffragists. Recently, a group by the name of NAWSA, or National American Women Suffrage Association, emerged. Here's a little backstory about the NAWSA. The NAWSA merged with two other women's suffrage groups, which were the NWSA and the AWSA. With many women enraged by the state of women in voting in the US, they felt that NASA was an amazing way to represent millions of women.
In other news, a black man by the name of Homer Plessy has reportedly been arrested for refusing to leave his seat on a whites-only train. On June 7, 1892, Plessy was on the train from New Orleans to Covington, Louisiana, when the train's conductor demanded that he depart from the train and resort to a blacks-only train instead. Plessy refused to comply with the conductor's demands, and as a result, he is now being taken into custody. The New Orleans court is convicting Plessy for violating the Separate Car Act. Passed by the Louisiana state legislature in 1890, the Separate Car Act segregates all railroad carriages that are located in the state. Plessy, who's of mixed race, has petitioned for his arrest by saying that since he is 7/8 Caucasian and 1/8 African blood, he is therefore qualified for receiving the same privileges granted to the white race. He also claims that his arrest is a violation of the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection under the law. Now back to Alec in world news.
In world events, Dahomey has failed to recognize the colonial status of Cantu, a commercial port that was believed to be under the French possession. Dahomey has failed to respect this legal status, as well as collect items from the port city. Dahomey and France were rumored to sign an official document that legislated the port to belong to France. As a result, tensions between Dahomey and France have built up to an armed conflict within the Western African Kingdom. Dahomey, known for being an ever-present kingdom in the West African region, has been increasing tensions by denying the Dahomey tributary of Porto Novo foreign protection. In past events, Porto Novo has been the target for anti-slaving raids by the British Empire. Porto Novo's response was to seek protection under France. France has responded to these increasing misdemeanors by sending soldiers to Cantu to deliver justice upon the kingdom of Dahomey. Shortly afterward, there were battles among the local forces established by Dahomey and France. Upon both entities hearing about the clash, reinforcements were sent to establish sovereignty over the port of city of Cantu. Local reports have witnessed several thousands Dahomeyan soldiers advance towards the city under the cover of night. Their attack was unsuccessful. France has established a retaliation, with the sovereignty being re-established, as well as establishing Porto Novo be a protectorate of France.
It's refreshing. It's cooling. And it also sizzles. It's Coca-Cola. Founded in 1892, the Coca-Cola Company aims to quench your thirst by producing the most delectable soda on the market. A delicious mixture of carbonated water and natural flavorings, Coca-Cola is the perfect drink crafted just for you. For 5 cents, treat yourself to the refreshing fountain drink that you deserve, the great national temperance drink, Coca-Cola.
Last week, I interviewed Susan B. Anthony, aka the president of the NAWSA, who gave us her opinion on the AWSA and women's rights. Here's Susan B. Anthony.
Hi, Double AJ News.
Hey, I'm Alec from Double AJ News, and we're here today with Susan B. Anthony, president of the NAWSA, and we're here to ask what she thinks of women's rights and NAWSA as a whole.
I'd like to start off without saying that women's rights are one of the most important topics of today's time. We truly believe that women should have the right to vote in elections all over the country, whether it be governors, senates, or the presidents.
Why has this been such an important cause for you to take part in?
It's been so important to me because all my life I've been in equal rights for women and men. I think the world should start noticing the benefits women bring to the table when it comes to politics, work, and other situations that doesn't involve women at the moment. I'm Jocelyn, and today's topic is fashion in the 1890s. We start off by this image by Miss Montgomery. She was a size 4 when she wore this dress, which is actually a gray nubby textured wool blend with a caplet with long lappets which hang down the front and tucked into a belt at the waist. It was a full accordion, pleated white sleeves gives the impression of the popular Lego mutton sleeve, which was growing ever larger in 1893. At the time of her trial, the back of the cape is finished off with a heavy metallic bead fringe. The hat to resemble was unfortunately thrown away. It featured a strong vertical bow embellishment and a clutch of shreds of ostrich feather on the crown, which was exactly correct for the time era. I'm Dawson. Today's topic is the editorial fashion of the 1890s. It starts off by the history of the Janice Miller interest. In these columns, it seems almost superfluous to give the essential features of the movement again. Nevertheless, not a week passes, but some person writes a saying that they do not get fully understand the purpose of her work. The term reform has been concerned with so much that was odious to the eye that it is very difficult to convince the skeptical that comfort and artistic grace are comparable. Yet one has only to see a public exhibition of the various garments comprised in the Janice Miller system to realize that the very highest of grace and art are possible when the mind has been trained to appreciation of correct physical ideas. Dress reform is simply the work in which we are engaged for the idea. Is less of reform than of physical evolution and development.